All right, today we're unboxing some paddles. In fact, about 2 weeks ago, right there, I went for an Erne, and just take a look at what happened. At first I thought I hit the net. I think I might have hit the net.
I didn't see.
I don't know.
I heard you hit the net.
I hit the net.
You hit the net?
I hit the net.
You hit the net.
We actually ruled it as a fault. We did go back, and upon reviewing the footage, there was no contact with the net. It was a good Erne. It wasn't me hitting the net. It was my paddle broke.
Whoa, totally.
Yeah. And honestly, it was a pretty good way to send off a paddle.
Yeah.
How many paddles are you breaking these days, or what's your lifeline of a paddle?
I've never broken a paddle.
Not even in a fit of rage?
You know what? I'm too cheap to get angry enough to break a paddle.
Well, anyway, so I did my thing. The whole reason I became a wannabe pickleball influencer was to get free stuff. Some people are in it to grow the game. Not me. I just want free stuff. So we've got 4 paddles from Bread and Butter Pickleball, and the packaging is pretty cool. We're gonna see how they look. We've got the Bread and Butter Filth. We've got the Fat Boy. This is their control paddle.
All right.
We've got the Shogun, which I think it's an elongated paddle, and then the Invader is kind of their hybrid paddle. And this one is the Invader. You'll see it says, "We came to conquer your courts. We're here to destroy tennis." So kind of playing off that. I think like the packaging, just looking at these boxes, like a lot of times if you buy somebody a paddle, you don't know if it's really gonna be their style of paddle. Like if I bought you just a Yola or one of the bigger brands, a Selker, I don't know that you get this same kind of fun experience like with this kind of almost gimmicky, silly packaging. So I'm a big fan of that.
All right. So this is the, what's this one called?
This is the Filth.
The Filth.
We'll open it up. And look, this is how you do it. You get all these freebies. We got some stickers.
I like the stickers. And a koozie.
We've even got, before we even get to the paddle, we've got a bottle of hot sauce, I think, in each of these boxes. So
you can keep that. I'm not a hot sauce guy. I do think with all these high dollar surfaces that people should be using paddle covers.
Absolutely.
When they put their paddles in a bag. Because you don't want to scratch up, you know, you spend 150, 200 bucks on a paddle, you don't want to ding up the face.
I agree with you completely. I think,
because that's what I wear out first, is I wear the grit out.
Feels pretty gritty.
Have you invested in lead tape?
Yes.
And electrical tape so you can tape them all up?
So I use some, usually it's a little Technifiber lead tape weights, there's little strips. And then I got some, I'm a brand ambassador for Bodie Pickleball, and they do overgrips and tape around the edges. So I usually use that around the edges.
All right. So what do you think of the feel of that?
Yeah, it feels good. The handle feels long. You could definitely get 2 hands on that pretty easily. For
it's a nice techy grip.
Yeah, probably.
It feels a little light to me.
It does feel
but
light,
I have a scale upstairs. Should I go get it?
Yeah, might as well.
All right.
We could pretend like we actually are like paddle reviewers.
Okay.
So that should be between 7.6 and 8 ounces. Let's put that to the test.
All right. Let's see what it comes in at. $16 ounces.
That doesn't sound right.
All right, turn it off. Turn it back on. 8.08 ounces. Now, let's just test this Yola Seneca because I have no idea how much it is. 7.87. And I never have known how much my tennis rackets weigh. Now that's kind of amazing. It's only 11.2 ounces.
How about that?
I mean, wouldn't you think something this much bigger than that would weigh way more than 3 ounces more? I mean, that's...
You would think, but there's a lot of just like dead air in there, you know, if you think about it.
Yeah, it's just, it's just so much longer and got so much more.
Go ahead and show the people all that you use your tennis rackets for these days.
All right, this is my dog ball hitting racket. Go get it, Hobie. So we got Hobie here today, not Basil. All right.
All right, what should we crack open next?
Let's do the Fat Boy.
Fat Boy. You know, I love the branding of this one. Whenever I do go to get donuts, I do love this. It's just a classic kind of Homer Simpson looking donut with the pink frosting and the sprinkles. It's definitely my go-to. I do love a good jelly-filled donut as well. You eat many donuts these days?
Not much.
Not much. So this is their wide body paddle control. Supposed to have a large sweet spot, and James Ignatowicz recently tweeted that he thinks the wide body,
Yeah.
square-shaped paddle is the shape of the future for right-sided players, I believe.
Be curious.
We got more hot sauce.
Sweet.
And I mean, again, the branding, like when you open this, you're gonna have fun. I think this would be a great paddle to get somebody for a gift just because of this experience of it alone. We got more stickers. We got our Fat Boy stickers. I mean, just look at these. These are good. Definitely gonna see those on a water bottle. We got more koozie action. So here we go. Definitely compare the shapes too of that. Just you can already see it's a wider.
Yeah, a little bit shorter. And it comes in at 8.04.
Okay.
So pretty good quality
I
control
do
there.
like, first of all, it really does feel pretty gritty. I do also like that you kind of have this circular donut right in the middle of the paddle. So if you're trying to hit the sweet spot, you just kind of aim right for that donut hole. I think maybe more paddles should do that. Yeah.
Let's put it in the cover.
Moving along, we'll go with the Shogun next. This one, thermoformed carbon plus titanium. Don't really know what that means.
I know I'm made out of titanium now since I've got a couple of plates in my
A couple
collarbone.
plates, a couple screws. This
Yeah.
might be the paddle for you. You're made of carbon and titanium.
Yeah.
So here we go. We've got the same koozies. We've got, again, the custom branded paddle for each, or paddle cover for each paddle. That's a nice touch. Wow, this is a very cool looking paddle. Look at that.
It is. It doesn't feel quite as gritty.
No, it doesn't, but it almost has like, it almost feels softer.
It's funny, I'm always such a performance paddle guy that I don't really pay much attention to aesthetics. And because I have a fair number of decent pickleball players out here using alphas and a lot of experimental paddles, the other day somebody was trying to get me to give up some of my alphas. I'm like, no, man, Ben and Colin gave those to me. I'm not giving them to anybody. This one's 8.11, so coming in just a hair heavier. Here,
I'll
go ahead.
paddle it up. And we've got one more. This is the Invader. We came to conquer your courts. We came here to destroy tennis. Again,
It's funny how pickleball is doing a number on tennis.
Again,
I just watched some of the PPA at the Australian Open.
Yeah.
And, I didn't see any of the pros playing on the feed that I was watching, but it's kind of cool seeing that a Grand Slam is bringing pickleball in, realizing that, what's that saying? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Yeah, exactly. So again, once you open these up, it's just like in your face, the branding, the marketing. I don't know. It's fun. It's just well done. Very well done. Again, we'll start with the hot sauce. Oh, this one's green.
They went with alien green.
Flamin' saucer, jalapeno hot sauce.
I'm not touching that stuff.
And we've got,
Oops. Paddle cover.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, that totally looks like, what was that? Mars Attacks. That
Yes,
looks like a Mars Attacks alien.
that movie used to give me nightmares. I know it's a comedy and it's just not supposed to be scary, but I watched it. You let me watch the movie when I was a little too young, and I had some nightmares about Mars Attacks.
I did not realize that.
Yeah.
So you're blaming all your adult phobias on me for being a shitty dad?
They're freaky looking guys. They're freaky looking little aliens. But this guy, he's kind of cool looking. He's got, his head is a pickleball.
8.01. So nice tight grouping in there with the weight. They're all similar.
And so like other paddle reviewers who know what they're doing might actually test the grit. We're just rubbing it and kind of going by feel. That's how we're doing things. We don't really know what we're doing here. Do you even know any of these paddle terms you see on the marketing of the paddles? Thermoformed, polypropylene core. So there we have it. We've got all these open. I think we probably need to hit with them a little bit.
I think we should.
See how they feel.
Let's do it.
All right. People complain, why do all these high-end pickleball paddles are so boring? These are not boring. This is definitely not boring paddles. All right, what do you want to start with?
Hand me that fat boy.
Oh dear, going here. Let's get started. We've got the Filth, the Shogun, the Invader, and Dad's got the Fat Boy.
Okay, Dad, fat boy.
Come on over here. Hit one. Hit a few.
Yeah, you want to? Oh, there we go. Oh.
I'm getting some nice pop with this one.
That was a good one. Oh, there it is.
That's all that really matters is can I do that shot?
The signature shot. Hey!
Good shot. Nice kick. Oh yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
You know, all I can say is, what a great sport that we can do this in our backyard as a family.
It is a lot of fun. All right, everybody. Well, you've just watched this video. You've seen me open these paddles, and I don't know. You know me if you've watched this channel. I'm a pretty big pickleball nerd, but one of my blind spots is I'm just not really a pickleball paddle nerd. I don't really know much about paddles. I see the list of words, thermoformed polypropylene core with a twist weight of 6.2. I don't really know what any of that means. So I've enlisted the help of my friend Will, and he is pretty much the definition of a pickleball paddle nerd. So Will, if I want to become a paddle nerd, like,
Yeah.
what do I do? What do I need to know, and how can I increase my knowledge about like what does all this mean?
Oh man. Well, first you probably will have to create a shrine and worship Chris Olsen,
Okay,
John Q, and Braden from Pickleball Effect. Subscribe to all their newsletters and their spreadsheets and their channels and just intake all the knowledge right there. It's going to be a lot, but I guarantee you just kind of toss yourself into the fire and you'll make it through. Once you make it through, you'll know and be confident that you've become a paddle nerd. Yeah.
excellent. Yeah, because I mean, I'm a pretty big nerd. I watch all the PPA and MLP and APPs, and I've got my own spreadsheets that I manage. So I definitely am a nerd. It's just been a blind spot for too long. So I appreciate you taking the time to
Yeah,
come in
man.
and help me out with this. So the paddles me and my dad looked at this week were the four kind of main paddles from Bread and Butter Pickleball.
Oh,
We
yes.
took a look at the Filth, the Fat Boy, the Shogun, and the Invader, and we were really blown away just with like the presentation and packaging of these paddles. A lot of the times with kind of the big brands that maybe you see the pros playing with, I don't know that you get that unboxing experience. Are there other paddles out there that you think have a similar vibe? Or
Yeah, I think that when it comes to marketing and flair and showmanship, Bread and Butter is bar none the best. Doug, the owner, does such a phenomenal job with that. Other companies have tried to do it, some to some success. I would say Volair has some pretty good presentation, and
yeah, there
maybe
was a
Eat.
button with Volair that would create a
Yeah, yeah,
hardeometer at
yeah.
you. That was a nice, yeah.
Exactly, exactly. I would say Ethos Pickleball, another smaller brand, has some pretty good presentation. It comes with the box and everything. There's like maybe some magnetics that come
Mhm.
out. Some of the limited edition ones from 6 as well. But honestly, no other paddle company does it like Bread and Butter. I mean, shoot, if you are one of the first 1,000 to buy some of their new paddles, you get hot sauce.
Dude, yeah, they sent me all the hot
Box.
sauce. I haven't even had a chance to eat it yet. I mean,
Dude, yeah, you're gonna get fat because that hot sauce is delicious,
I
you
think I'm
know?
going to do a separate video just reviewing their hot sauce.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. If I'm coming down in Texas, we should definitely do a little food tour, play pickleball, dink around at the restaurant, over a table, and then try the hot sauce and put the hot sauce on whatever food we order. I think that would be amazing.
I'm so down for that. So these paddles specifically, I noticed a few different shapes. The Fat Boy being their wide body control paddle. That was kind of the one I ended up gravitating a little bit to. I don't know. I just also really like donuts, so that probably helped. Um, but as I was kind of looking through the different specs, I noticed the Shogun has this kind of titanium and carbon fiber weave.
Yeah.
What do we think about these different materials going in the paddles, and everything seems to be thermoformed with this raw carbon fiber surface, but what are kind of some of like the big things to know about these paddles, I guess?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So obviously you mentioned shape. So shape, I think, is kind of like the first big thing you kind of want to look at. Mainly now it's an elongated shape, right?
Hmm.
And a shorter, wide body kind of shape. And then there are some hybrid shapes that fall in between the two, but I always still categorize them within those two. And then sometimes now that the hybrid shape gets more love, like maybe that's a third shape, I would say.
Hmm.
But what you need to know is that the longer shape gets more reach, a little bit more power from the baseline because you have more leverage, right? But
Hmm.
the sweet spot is narrower. It's longer but narrower. And then the shorter wide body paddles, the sweet spot is more even, more round, right? So you get a more consistent hit, I would say, when you make contact in the sweet spot of the paddle. And the hybrid is kind of like an in between. So that's the shape. Now, in terms of materials, there's essentially three very popular materials right now. So, raw carbon fiber, right?
I feel like
You have
that's kind of the
Kevlar.
one you see the most of, or
Yeah,
just
yeah. So this is what you see in the filth, right? And
mhm.
then you have this, I guess they call it titanium, right? But titanium is essentially just a polyester with a paint that looks like titanium,
Okay.
right? So it's a softer material.
It did
So
feel
that's,
softer even just when I touched it. No, it doesn't, but it almost has like, it almost feels softer.
and then we have Kevlar. Now, the way I see it is, in my opinion, uh, titanium feels the softest, the most malleable, right? And then Kevlar, and then carbon fiber. Now, the carbon fiber and the Kevlar, I feel like, are much closer in terms of stiffness. So sometimes you can't even feel the difference. Like if you had this same paddle with the same specs and everything, just the surface material was a little bit different, you probably wouldn't notice a difference off of feel, I would say. Other than that, it's, in my opinion, mostly aesthetics,
Hmm.
and in my personal opinion, uh, I think raw carbon fiber is superior, but that could just be biased because there's more of them out there. But
Hmm.
I find that they, in my opinion, just last a bit longer and then they get like more pop and power than most titanium ones that I've played with. But there's always exceptions to the rule. So those are kind of like where I stand on those materials right there.
That's
Um,
super helpful. Yeah, I appreciate that. Another, metric I saw on these was twist weight. I mean, I could just
mhm.
guess that's how much weight it takes to twist a paddle. Is something to do with
Yeah,
leverage. Am I on the right track there?
yeah, you're totally on the right track. So twist weight is, yeah, how much force is required to essentially twist the paddle. And basically when the ball hits the side of the paddle, how much it twists in your hand. The higher the twist weight, the less that it should twist in your hand. And basically that equates to how the stability and how stable it is when you make contact with the ball. Um, Typically a high twist weight correlates to a good sweet spot. And that is kind of like the story on that. And then the brother to twist weight is swing weight. You've probably seen that one
Yes,
as
yes.
well. And the swing weight is basically the amount of force that it would take to swing the paddle through the air. And basically, if you think of it like the twist weight is on the x-axis and how it twists on the paddle, then and then the opposite is for the swing weight, right? Typically, a longer paddle, so elongated paddles have higher swing
Okay.
weights. It's longer, so there's more paddle to move around in that direction. And shorter paddles typically have higher twist weights because there's more mass on the sides because they're shorter and they're wider. So that's for that. And then how that equates into in performance is swing weight. Because you're swinging the paddle through the air and it takes more force, there's more mass and momentum that carries through the ball, and you can kind of plow through the ball a little
Okay.
bit better. Whereas the shorter paddle, the twist weight, they're more stable. Like, when you're hitting on all sides, that's why the sweet spot's bigger. So that's kind of the trade-off that you kind of have to look at when you're looking at those metrics right there.
Well, I'm definitely feeling more like a paddle nerd already. We were talking about
Okay, great.
X and Y axis and breaking out all these metrics. So if you see a paddle just listing and you see how much it weighs, and the twist
Mhm.
weight and the swing weight and the material, do you already have a good idea of like I'm gonna like that paddle or not? Like, do you know what you like, or how much of it is you can see it all written down, but you just have to go get in your hand and just kind of feel it?
I think probably like 60, 70% of it, I'll know if I like it or
Mm,
not, or there'll be a high probability. I'll know there's be a high probability that I like the paddle. So for me, I typically gravitate towards elongated paddles because I like the extra reach. I
hmm.
come from tennis, so I like that extra leverage. I typically tend to go with a thickness of 16 millimeter
Hmm.
because I want a little bit more plush kind of feel. I look for raw carbon fiber, and then I'll check to see like the construction, like if it's thermoform, maybe the honeycomb cell size or what the core is made out of. So yeah.
Cool. Well, that's about all the questions I had. I had a lot of fun opening these paddles up. It's just it was a ton of fun. Just it's kind of like the new toy experience of pickleball. It's fun to accumulate gear. So I got
Yeah.
to ask you, how many paddles do you own?
Probably upwards of like 300, but it's slowly going down. I've donated a lot of them to a lot of like the schools and the clubs around here. I've been doing a lot of work here in my local community. I went to a middle school the other day and I helped, I guess, do like an intro to pickleball clinic for about like 65 staff members of that middle school, and I just left the paddles there for them to take. And hopefully that they use it to build their own pickleball program. Some of them myself, some of them I keep, at least the ones that I really like. And if they look cool or they hold some sort of sentimental
Mhm.
value, I'll keep them. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. Where can we follow you, and what any cool content or any projects you want to share coming up?
Yeah. You can follow me at Pickleball Will. YouTube channel is also Pickleball Will. I haven't posted in quite some time because I've been working here in my local community, but I've been working on some stuff like behind the scenes. I will be back on the Pickleball Studio podcast, so go follow them back in February. And right now, I created another small brand, which I will show you in a bit, but it is basically called My City PB, and it is basically a brand that for people from from your specific city who likes pickleball. I'm starting here with Tulsa because that's where I'm at right now. And actually, I think I have the prototype for the paddle that I designed, and I just got it. Let me see if I can pull it out for you to
Yeah.
see. So this is it right here. This is the
Oh,
paddle. This is
cool.
the cityscape right here of my town, and then this is like a sigil that comes from the flag of my town.
Okay, cool.
And it's really just for my town, but then people have been liking the design, they've been liking the paddle, and I've been thinking about maybe expanding it to other cities. And there's also merch involved as well. So cities that I have connections to. So obviously Dallas, Austin's one, maybe New York, Hong Kong, like Minneapolis, things like that. So we'll see where it goes. But I just got some merch in, and I'm kind of sifting through and learning that whole side of things. So yeah.
Well, if you're ever looking for a guy to send free stuff to,
Yeah,
I'm your guy.
I got you.
I can't offer you much in exchange except for very small, very limited exposure. As the foremost wannabe pickleball influencer on YouTube.
You're killing me. You're killing me, Maddie. You're an influencer. You're goaded. You're goaded, Maddie.
All
Shoot.
right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I think that's probably going to do it for this video. I'm on my journey to become a paddle nerd. So thank you for helping me take that first step.
Anytime, man.
Cool. All right. Awesome, dude. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.